So, guys, welcome to this session. We have gone live with Emmy. Emmy is an avid traveler and a very famous travel blogger also. She has been traveling since long now, and she's blogging full time since past 5 years.
Yes, more than that actually.
Yeah, and she documents her travel experiences on her blog and on Instagram and on Twitter, on Facebook. So on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, her ID is Emmy Bhatt. You can search for it,
Yeah,
and on her web, her blog is thrillingtravel.in.
that's right.
So
Thrilling
Emmy, if
travel
you
blog.
dot in, yeah. So Emmy, if you could tell the viewers more about yourself, what do you do, all that. Yeah.
Great. So I have been a travel blogger, like you said, for the last, rather full-time travel blogger for the last 5 years and odd. Uh, Before that, I was working as a marketing director and I've had several stints in the marketing and advertising field. Almost 15 to 16 years of in that
That's
particular
long.
field. Yeah. And then largely, yeah, that's how it's been. Traveling for me per se has never been something new. Traveling for me has always been part of my life.
Mhm.
It was a documentation, to be honest, that I started much later. Uh, Probably a latent passion that I figured in writing. Photography was always a passion, so I used to always, anyway, even before I became a travel blogger, take a lot of photographs wherever I went. So travel blogging basically allowed me to combine both these together, the writing and the photography and the travel, so all kind of passions together. And yeah, I started as a part-time blogger and then gradually moved to full-time. So before you ask me, I didn't quit for travel blogging. The quitting happened incidental.
Okay.
So yeah, the quitting happened incidental, but I'm glad it did because there's a lot of fulfillment that I found in living this life right now.
Great.
And yeah, I'm sure we're going to talk more about it. Yeah, that's pretty much me. So as far as travel passions are concerned, I like travel. Period. Whether that is heritage destinations or whether it's nature or adventure or anything new. Culture. I'm kind of open to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm when it comes to food travel, that is the only place where I think I don't qualify as an expert. Partly because I like trying out new delicacies, but I do not have an appetite. So, like in a lot of places earlier as well, I have said, you ask me about the speciality of the place, I will tell you what the food is and how it is made and everything. But beyond that, don't ask me anything more because I wouldn't really know.
So, do you remember your first trip?
I honestly, no, because I think I was about 20 days old when I moved to the Gulf. So I
Okay.
grew up in the Gulf for a very long time. I in fact did my high school also in the Gulf, and then
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Pune, and then finally now I'm in Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved to Pune, I moved in as a blogger, as a border, as a student. My parents were still abroad, and a lot of travel happened even at that point in time. But for me, every travel has been something that I've eased into. It's something which has always been a part of my life. So as a student, also I traveled a lot. I used to go back home alone, and I was just a teen at that point in time. So I used to go back home alone. There were times when we had these short vacations, so I used to meet my cousin halfway somewhere, and I would travel alone. So there was a lot of travel that happened, but like I said, I never felt very odd about it. I was never scared. It was just there. It was just a part of life. And yeah, after I started working and all, it became a lot more frequent. And especially after my daughter was born, actually, my trips became even more frequent because when you start having a family, you want to have bonding time. And as a corporate, worker, then it's very important to use those, leaves that you
Absolutely.
have.
Absolutely.
And using those leaves at home, absolutely, it never gives you enough time. Somehow, it never gives you that quality
Yeah.
time. At least for me, that's how I felt about it. And
Mm.
which is why my trips increased, because every long weekend we would just take off. So we would actually make a list of all the long weekends and plan in advance, book in advance, almost 1.5, 2 months in advance. I would tell my boss, look, I am not there. I'm not working this weekend. Or if you want to catch me on the phone, and no guarantees, kind of a thing. But I would actually pre-plan it even at work, so that it doesn't get affected, and ensure that I go. I had to go out for that peace of mind and for that bonding session with my family. So a lot of travel became frequent at that point in time. But yeah, if you ask me which was my first travel that I remember, I think I would qualify one which was my first major trip abroad. And I'm not talking about Gulf. I'm talking about Far East.
Okay.
So my parents at that point in time had taken me there, and I somehow still remember every bit of it. There were four cities that we had gone to, which is Bangkok, Hong Kong, Singapore, and Manila.
Mhm.
And for some reason, I still remember so much from that particular trip. I think I was just about 6 years old or something of that. But but it's so refreshing. And like every bit of every each of these cities I have touched upon in the recent years. And it's I when I went there, I could still remember, oh, this was Tiger Palm Gardens. I remember having taken a picture there. And in Hong Kong, the ocean park, every single bit I actually remembered. And
Mm.
it was just amazing. I think, yeah, if I have to remember my first trip, that would be the one.
So for many people, there is this one trip that changes their thinking. Probably, I don't know, कुछ कुछ ऐसा जिससे लगता है कि yeah, this is something that I really enjoy, and traveling is something that I'm really passionate about. Um, is there such experience with you also, that after that particular trip you decided that okay, this is going to be your or this is your passion, you really like traveling, and then you started documenting your stuff?
No, there was no trip which really triggered that off. It was actually the lack of trip which triggered it off. Uh,
Okay.
so it was one of those crazy times in at my workplace where I had to cancel all my leaves, and I was just not getting any leaves, even though I had leaves. And I, I mean, it was like very frustrating. And at
Mm.
that point in time, I was always known to travel. So a lot of people used to always come to my queue, and they would say, "Arey, tu idhar gayi thi na? Please tell me a little more about that place.
Yeah, yeah,
अरे कहाँ रहे थे? What वहाँ पे क्या क्या देखने को है?" They would actually come and have these conversations with me.
yeah.
And during this frustrating time, there were a lot of people who did come and have that, because it was a long weekend and I had to cancel it for work. So a lot of people were carrying on with the plans and they were going. So they would come to me and they're like, "अरे तुम इधर गई थी ना, तुम मुझे बता दो ये कैसा है." So I kind of got a little irritated about the whole thing, and I started writing, because one is I wanted to remember my past trip, and second is I also realized that I was talking about the same places with different people and giving
Okay.
them the same advice,
Yeah.
because I mean, place doesn't change, your experience doesn't change. So I said, let's just relive. So I started documenting, and that was actually my first blog. And I started writing about these one-day trips, and I think the first one that I ever wrote about was about this place called Lepakshi.
Okay.
Lepakshi is about a day. It's a day trip from Bangalore. It's very very close to Bangalore.
Okay.
And when I wrote about it, I wrote some tips on how to get there and stuff like that. And it was very well received.
Mm.
And that's when I realized, that, even in my cube, better where I can do some virtual travel. So let's just continue. So my initial blog was a mix of my own travel and my own wish list. then I realized that it's better to talk about things that you've already been to. So that's when I shifted the entire focus mostly to places that I had been to and which would help people actually get there as
Right.
well. So
Yeah.
that's how the whole blogging scenario and the documentation started. And like I said, I always took a lot of pictures. So that was one thing right from the beginning that I had. I always had a lot of pictures for my blog. So besides just writing, I was able to pull in those pictures and showcase the place as well. So I think that really worked in my favor, and things just started flowing after that. And yeah.
So the life became easier for you. जो भी अगर किसी डेस्टिनेशन के बारे में टिप्स मांगता है तो उसको लिंक भेज दिया कि जाओ पढ़ लो.
एकदम एकदम अभी भी होता है. In fact, now it's become like people first go to my blog and if they don't find it, then they send me a message. अरे इसके बारे में नहीं लिखा है. मैंने कहा हाँ भाई नहीं लिखा है अभी तक. I have not yet reached that point because frankly speaking, even now I have a lot of content. Even though I haven't traveled out or anything, I have so much that I have not yet documented.
Okay.
Because when I do write, I write in detail. छोटे ब्लॉग्स लिखने का तो I feel कि कोई मतलब नहीं है because if somebody is coming to my blog, it's not just to see pictures. It is also to figure out how they can get there.
Yeah.
And yes, so there's a lot of time investment that goes into it, and yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a lot which is still undocumented in my case.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a very general practice कि कहीं जाना है तो पहले अभी के ब्लॉग में देख लो, नहीं मिला तो फिर उसको मैसेज कर दो कहीं तो फिर.
Okay. Okay. So coming back to the point that you quoted earlier, moving from a full-time job to full-time corporate job, if I say that, to a freelancer, your own boss, and being a full-time traveler and travel blogger. Um, are there restrictions that you were facing in your job, or it was passion towards writing and documenting stuff that made you switch from a part-time traveler to a full-time traveler?
Actually speaking, I just quit because I wanted to break. See, I mean, life in corporate always requires you to take that little breather. And frankly speaking, in my case, I hadn't taken a break for a very long time, and I was managing home, I was managing office. It kind of sometimes gets to you, and especially as a woman, I'm sure a lot of women who are watching will probably say yes. I agree. It's not that easy. With a daughter who was growing up, I wanted to spend time with her. Understand? I mean, she had her own passions, and I realized that I was so busy doing work, coming back home, just doing a tick mark, being a mom kind of a thing, and then while she was busy doing her homework, taking calls till whatever time in the night. So
Yeah.
basically, even though I might have left office at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or whatever, but I was still doing work. So I think that kind of really got to me after a point, and I wanted a break. So I actually took a break, and that break just extended because
Yeah.
during the break, what happened is my blog was already on. So during the break, what happened was I kind of started documenting things a lot more because I had more time on hand. I started looking into the technical aspects a little more. I changed the whole domain. I created I took I took on an independent course. There was a lot of things I started doing. And because I was giving it a focused attention, the blog actually grew. It not just grew in terms of audience, in terms of traffic, but it also grew in terms of popularity.
Right.
Also, because the frequency of the blog had also gone up. Like I was writing more frequently, and like I was able to focus a lot more. Then opportunities started coming in. I
Right.
started getting to travel for the blog. I started getting opportunities to write for other people. Lonely Planet, for example, came up, and a
Yeah.
few other magazines came up. And I realized people liked what I was putting out over there. So, even though it was just trickle, I mean, I was getting a big fat like paycheck, and this was just a trickle compared to that. And luckily, like I said, I had worked for almost 15, 16 years, so I had a a fair bit of savings on hand. My liabilities were a lot lesser. I had almost paid off my loans. Things were looking good on the financial side. I had a husband who supported me, and he said, "Well, almost like ja Simran, ja go and live your dream kind of a thing." And I took that opportunity because very few people actually get that opportunity. So I took that
Yes.
opportunity,
Mm.
and yeah, I moved into full-time blogging. Uh, Even now, even till date, I would say my income doesn't match up to what I was earning as a marketing director. But there's a lot of fulfillment, there's a lot of time on my hand, which I'm able to use for my daughter. I'm able to focus on her aspects as well. There are a lot of things which I think as a couple we wouldn't have been able to do because we were so busy, trying to just catch up with work and do the tick mark kind of a thing. So, which now we are able to do. So there are a lot of fringe benefits that I got in lieu of that payment. So yes, in my financial conditions, like I said, it was because it was stable. I was able to take that leap, and yes, now it's a steady thing. Like yes, I do get a steady flow, but like I said, it will never measure up to the fat paycheck that I used to get at the end of the month.
Yeah. So, lot of people actually aspire to be a blogger or a travel blogger. There is a different craze of traveling altogether that we see nowadays, and I keep getting messages about traveling tips or how to start, where to go, all those stuff. And lot of youngsters want to build their career in this field. So, what are the challenges when we talk about travel blogging per se?
Uh, See, one of the biggest challenges is travel blogging is not as easy as it seems. So what you see on my side is pretty pictures of the places and a lot of write up and stuff. But it's a lot beyond that. It is not just about writing and photographing. It is actually about putting it all together. It's a fair bit of digital marketing. It's a fair bit of social media marketing. There is finances that you have to manage. So you are your own finance manager. You are your own technician. Technical help. So there is a lot more to travel blogging, and which is what people do not realize. It's only when you
Yes.
get into it, then you realize that you are a one-man army.
Yeah.
So for people who have not tried this out, my biggest advice is that try it out part-time first. Try to grow it part-time first. Understand the challenges, and if you're still up to it, then yes, maybe it makes sense for you to even consider it as a full-time career. Opportunities do not come that easily. It took me a while before my first break came. And I was in no hurry, luckily. Like I said, my financial conditions and things, touch wood, were in a good place. So I was in no hurry to do it. But
Right.
had that not happened to me, I probably would have gone back to my full time job. For me, like I said, a lot of like I said, a lot of things panned out because of the savings and everything. So it is always better if you have a backup. Uh, and a lot of youngsters today do not realize that even though you get paid, you do not get paid as much. In fact, in India, we hardly get paid as compared to our Western counterparts. The
Yeah.
Western counterparts actually, the blogging industry or the travel blogging industry itself has evolved a lot more.
Right.
So the rates are also much better. The payment structure is much better. They get paid on time. They can actually
Yeah.
dictate terms to the people. And whereas over here, what happens is one is people are not willing to pay. If they are willing to pay, they do not pay on time. You are running behind money, literally. So there are
Right.
a lot of challenges that you have as a travel blogger or a travel writer. And for somebody who just sees the face of it, saying that "अरे अच्छे places में जा रही है," there's a lot to do. So when you are actually on an official trip, you ask any travel blogger when they are on an official trip, there's a lot of work that we do. there's we are constantly taking photographs, we are constantly trying to capture information.
Yeah,
Some bit of the thrill of travel does definitely decrease, because while
absolutely.
you are at a while you are at a lovely place, you do not have that peace of mind. You're working,
Yeah,
you do not have that much of a peace of
yeah,
mind which you would have otherwise. So for example, if I have to choose between sometimes just sitting around and not doing anything versus taking a photograph, I do not have the choice anymore, because I just have that period. I've come here for an assignment, I
yes,
need to finish. So
yes,
there's a lot of hard work that goes into every trip. Now, unfortunately for us in India, not every trip is paid for, right?
yes,
So they say that we are paying you for the tickets, we are paying you for the hotel, and it's all done. But no, it's not done. You are just giving us the convenience for your assignment. What goes on behind it? Because we've collected the content, we come back, we document it.
yeah,
That documentation takes a long time. For me, for example, writing a post, if I have to just write a post and put it up, it takes about 1.5 days, because you are writing a post, you are editing it, you are editing your pictures, you are putting in the links, you are cross-referencing and doing whatever. The entire process takes that much time. It takes at least a
absolutely,
day minimum. And
absolutely.
I'm saying 1.5 day because you're not going to constantly write. You will need breaks, because writing is
Yeah,
not something which you do continuously. So
yeah,
uh, the reality is that there is a lot of hard work that goes in, and the compensation is not commensurate with the hard work. Having said that, like I said, things are evolving.
mhm,
There are a lot of good tourism brands in India who have recognized this and have started paying us and have started, compensating us for our efforts. But honestly speaking, getting there is a long road. A lot of blogs, a lot of brands do need to take into cognizance, and this will only come with time.
yeah. So I guess it would take some time before the Indian market matures, gets matured enough to actually take this as a full-time career, except blogging
Yes.
as a full-time career. Still, when we talk to people, we ask, are you doing a full-time job or you are a freelancer? I mean, or a blogger,
Absolutely.
as if it's not
Right.
working. Yeah.
It's
So
not. It's not
it will
easy.
take some
And
time.
yeah, sadly that remains true. And frankly, we've also been with this setback that we've had currently, which is the COVID setback. The
Yes.
likelihood of this happening is going to be even longer, because already as an economy we are facing a lot of crunch, uh, and this is a new field. So
Yeah.
it will take us time to kind of get out of it, and for this particular field to actually evolve a little.
Yeah, absolutely. So, though we would be talking about blogging and the tips and tricks around blogging at length, we are doing another session tomorrow, guys. So, same time, same place, you can join us. Uh, Amy is going to tell in detail about how to start, what all things to consider when you start your travel blogging or blogging career, and all the details about making your blog successful. So tomorrow is the day. So Emmy, now we are in a different situation. Everyone is at home. There is no traveling. How are you coping
Yes.
up with this scenario? Yeah, that's the question.
Frankly, a lot of other doors have opened up for me,
Okay.
because I think experience and expertise matter. The fact that
Okay.
I've been consistently at it for a while. So, uh, well, like I said, content wise, I do not have any dearth of it. I am still writing. I'm still putting it out. I still write for a few other. This thing recently just published something in Lonely Planet as well. So I've been writing as is. On the other hand, there are people who have requested me to do workshops so they can take up certain skill sets. So I recently did a writing workshop for them.
Okay.
There is a lot to do on technical aspect of my blog itself, because when I started writing, I didn't focus so much on SEO, to be honest, because I'm
Yeah.
like, हाँ ठीक है, passion है, छोड़ दो kind of a thing. But now I realize the importance of it.
Yes.
So while my recent years have been great in terms of SEO and stuff, my older posts definitely need some bit of rework. And
Mm.
I have visited certain places again and again. So there is a lot of work even on that end that I'm doing.
Mm.
So there's lots to keep me busy, to be honest. I mean, yes, I miss the sunshine and the clouds and everything, but I think travel can wait. It's the need of the hour. We need to
Yes.
wait it
Yes.
out a little more,
Yes.
and hopefully things will move forward. Though it will take us time to get out of it, because travel is going to be very, very affected in this scenario. So my guess is people will take baby steps. You will probably have some bit of road trips and domestic travel happening. Um, पहले it was a prestige to say कि मैं US जाके आ गई. Now I don't think
No.
people want to go to US.
No.
So now I have a feeling people say मैं हम्पी जाके आ गई, and that will be like a prestige thing, prestigious thing. And I'm glad that is happening, because in India itself we have so much to see.
Yes.
So I'm looking at this as a great opportunity for domestic travel, and I'm also looking at this saying that if at all people start stepping out of the house, which I honestly think will take another at least 3 to 4 months, as in I'm talking about travel,
Yeah.
and road trips and domestic travel is what's going to really take off.
So, do you foresee the travel industry changing in any way due to this COVID situation in probably short term or long term?
Um, See, there is going to be a lot of restrictions that are going to come up. There is going to be some amount of social distancing that is going to come up. It's going to change the way we travel. My guess is that we will be forced to travel with a mask, sanitizers. These are going to be very, very
Yeah.
required, and it's
Hmm.
probably the need of the hour, like I said. Vaccines, till it comes out, we are going to be like this. So
Hmm.
it's going to change a few things in that sense. So uh, my guess is brands that give you quality services, who are taking care of you in these ways, are going to actually come up in the travel industry. So hotels, for example, hotels, airlines, which are actually going out of their way to make things safe for you, are going to thrive. So if even if it means paying a little extra premium, I have a feeling people will pay that little extra premium to get that little safety.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I think that is where I see the travel industry going to move towards. So even in that, there is going to be a lot of competition. Sure, you will have competitive rates and stuff like that. But like I said, the brands which can give you these kind of uh, the safety in their service and go out of their way to ensure things are right for you, are the ones which are going to actually travel, are actually going to thrive.
Okay. So let's assume the situation is normal after few days, probably few months. सबसे पहले कहाँ जाओगे आप? What's the plan?
I don't know. Off late, I've been thinking a lot about mountains. So I think maybe Spiti Valley. I don't know.
It is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know. I just off late I've just been dreaming a lot about mountains. So I guess maybe that. And if it's not the mountains, then it will be the beaches for sure. And then in that case, I don't know, maybe sometime somewhere even close by, somewhere closer to Kerala or Karnataka coast or something of that sort, something closer to home. But yes, I think that's where it is. But right now, at this point in time, I'm really craving for the mountains.
Okay. Yeah, Spiti is a good choice. It's beautiful. I went to Spiti in February, just before the lockdown. It was like
Wow.
magical. Yeah. That was the last trip.
My last trip was to McLeodganj. So yes, I think that mountain hangover continues from McLeodganj.
Great. So, guys, if you have some questions to Amy, you can please post it here, and so she'll answer to your queries. You can
I
also
think there were a couple of them.
just looking.
Yes, I do plan to promote a lot of Indian destinations, largely because I've also been to a lot of them. So this was in answer to Bharatiya Yatri. And yeah, that's pretty much it. At least I can see. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if there's
So
anything else, they can always ping me, or we
uh,
can take it up tomorrow.
in the next session, we can take the questions in the next session. So thanks, Amy. It was a very insightful session. We would be talking about blogging tomorrow. Uh,
Yes.
Hope everyone would get to know a lot about blogging because people are curious about how to start it. What's the first step, the beginners thing, and then gradually getting some expertise in the field. It's still an area wherein things are not as clear as a typical career choice. Like in a normal
Absolutely.
career, you kind of have proper path that is well defined. You do your graduation or PG, and then you start working for a company. This is still a gray area. There are no shortcuts probably. I mean, shortcuts to kahin bhi nahi hai. But yeah,
Might be needed, but there is, like you said, there is no qualification as such that one can define onto this. But yes, in terms of my background, there are a couple of things that I can share in terms of the experience that I've had and what has helped me and what are the mistakes I made, which hopefully will be some things which other people don't have to make. So yes, there's plenty that I can share on.
great, great. So tomorrow, let's catch up again at 5.
Perfect. See you guys.
See you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. See you tomorrow. Thanks, Amy.
Thank you.